So the VCR has been out ever since some point in the 60s, and all throughout the 70s, this was a very expensive device. In the 70s in particular, you had to be not only fairly wealthy, but you also needed to have a fairly specific reason to have a VCR in the first place. You know, these were one of those earlier models where there really wasn't any movies per se to go and rent and buy. So you really didn't have that option. The two options that you really had, and one being the most important, was one of those earlier video cameras. I'm not even calling these a camcorder, but one of those earlier video cameras. Then you could, of course, make home movies and, you know, keep them for posterity and all that good stuff. You really didn't even record shows when you kind of missed your show because you were either not home or whatever the case, you were watching something else. People used it for that, but not that much. And then when we got to the 80s, we saw the VCR explode. And I remember as a little kid in the 80s, that's when everybody's family pretty much got a VCR. And it was really a big deal. It was kind of the coolest thing ever. But interestingly enough, there is an industry in particular that really did help make the VCR super successful and really brought the VCR to almost everybody's home. And that is the adult video industry. And it's just the truth, by the way. When you look at things such as the diffusion of innovations, you know, and you learn this in marketing classes, both grad and undergrad. So you see where, you know, things start off and then you got the innovators, then you got the early adopters, and then you kind of go into the early and late majority, that healthy part of the bell curve and all that. But at the same time, remember, the diffusion of innovations is simply a model. It's a good model, but all it is a model. When it comes to each product category, there is generally a specific reason in terms of what winds up being that catalyst, that spark that really kind of sets things off. And it was, in this case, like I said, the adult video business. Now, I hope I'm not offending anybody because that's not my intention, but my intention is to educate you on things that are true. Now, prior to the VCR becoming a popular household consumer product, if you were a guy who wanted to watch a, quote, dirty movie, you know, you had to go to these adult video theaters, which were pretty seedy, and I'm sure there were a lot of things going on in every way, shape, and form, okay? And that's all I'm going to say about that. These were the only type of, avenues that one had if they wanted to go see a, quote, dirty movie. But now, all of a sudden, you were able to watch whatever kind of movie you wanted in the privacy of your home. I mean, this just completely changed the game. It really did change the game in so many ways. And as people started adopting VCRs more and more, then, of course, this was the birth of the Blockbusters of the world, the local video rental store, etc., that back in the day had the adult video section. But more importantly, the point here is the adult industry, the adult video industry was really that catalyst that made the VCR in the 80s as a consumer household product successful and really was the catalyst to make it a mainstream product that people would have in their homes, ultimately, of course, for any reason. But so send me your comments and questions, and each week you'll get a chance to win a copy of one of my books, your choice, either my book on presentation skills or business writing skills.